we live?
Oh, we're live now, Ian. What's going on?
Hey, you sound good, Tom. You sound get it out. You sound good.
Let's redo that. Fucking out. Now we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm losing my voice a little bit from screaming, but we're joined today by the one and only Benji Nassim, my friend, my dual companion staple. You know the fucking vibes, Ben. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Tom. Do you have a good relaxing Sunday? I know it's usually your day off, right?
Yeah, it's usually my day off, but with everything hitting the fan today, a lot of people wanted me to go live, and I figured I just hit everybody up, see if people actually want to do a show, and here we are. We're joined by some amazing people here today. We got Patty P to go Aches, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Pat. Pat, what's going on?
This is good. Thank you for the nice, warm welcome.
Of course.
Feeling good. Glad to be a part of a great emergency flank on this fine Sunday.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, Pat, to have you on board. You'll be seeing a lot more of Pat, I'll tell you that. We also got the one and only Elamite in a chat coming from the Halo scene. Thank you for joining us today, Elamite. How you doing, man?
Oh, you know what? I've probably been better, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you've probably been better. We're gonna talk about some of this stuff. I'm still a little bit confused, but we'll get into it. And then, of course, obviously, got to show some love to my man Enable, man. It's my fucking guy right there. One of the Halo goats, COD goats, multi FPS champion. You guys know what he does. Let's get a Enable in the chat. Ian, what's going on, boss?
Hey, thanks for having me, Tom. And there's only a couple people multi FPS champion. It is what it is.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go again.
I did okay my time.
Mr. Ian. Well, listen. I think we should just get right into it because I'm really fucking confused. I was waking up today to a bunch of tweets and a lot of stuff kind of hitting the fan. But can you guys kind of explain to me? Let's start with Royal 2 with this whole cheating thing. What is he being accused of here? If somebody could explain it. Because I'm
going to go
confused.
first and plan. So this afternoon, and Tom, I don't know if you want to pull it up. There was a post on Halo Waypoint. For those that don't know, Halo Waypoint's kind of like the one-stop for all the official information from Microsoft and 343 on Halo, on esports. And so they put out a competitive ruling. And basically the summary of what was a bunch of teams had reported accusations that a player on Sentinels World 2 may have been doing a few things in order to influence what servers they were playing on. And so an investigation was done. Mm-hmm. They determined that there were some abnormalities. They had asked Sentinels to respond. They received information from Sentinels. It didn't really line up, at least per the post, with what they had been able to reproduce on the 343 side. And because of that, they decided to make a ruling. And the ruling was that Sentinels points that they had earned in both the Open Series on the 27th of November and on the kickoff qualifier, like the pool play qualifier on the 1st, they removed those points.
Yeah.
Therefore, they were also not going to be in pool play for Raleigh. And that Royal 2 was then also suspended from HCS competition until January 28th. So that means they couldn't play with him, or they're not going to be able to play with him at Raleigh. Mm-hmm. So it's a big shuffle because that team is one of the top teams in NA. It's got a lot of repercussions, and I think it adds to the group kind of what everybody's thoughts are in the ruling and all sort of the fallout accordingly there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the call, do you guys agree with the ruling? Do you guys disagree? What do you guys think about it? It's called geofiltering. Is that what it's called? I see some people in the chat spamming geofiltering.
It's a little different, Tom. It's not like Net Duma. You know how the Warzone players, when that was a whole thing?
Yeah, they were what were they? They were doing something with their routers, right, to get easier lobbies or something?
Yeah, I mean, I guess essentially it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. And Kyle probably knows a lot more because I was watching a stream and he was talking about it. But you can go into your host files on your PC, and there was this Reddit thread where it had all these servers, and you basically paste the ones that you don't want to play on. Yeah. So it'd be West 2, East 2, Europe, whatever the case may be. And so World 2 just probably put all the ones besides West and West 2 mm-hmm. on that file and saved it. So those are the only hosts you could play on.
Okay. I
believe it was actually just the West 2, which per a lot
2?
Of tweets was just Seattle, which I assume is as close to him as possible.
Mm-hmm. He actually put out a statement a few hours ago too, where he talks about what happened from his point of view, and and just some of the issues there. But I mean, essentially, kind of admitting to what he had done.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I
what's your
mean,
opinion on the ruling, Elamite?
I'll read the statement. Just
yeah, I actually
for
have it right here, but you
context.
can read it off, Ben. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I got it up.
So Raw 2 statement was, during the launch of Halo Infinite, I was experiencing extremely high ping with the central server. I changed my settings to use the West Coast server, but failed to turn it off for the NA kickoff qualifier. Well, this was corrected before last night's esports arena tournament, which they won, by the way. I understand that the issues my oversight caused for the qualifier. He apologized for the impact of the decision and said that he was sorry for his fans. I guess it's kind of a straightforward statement. I will say, according to the release from the HCS team, it wasn't just for the qualifier. They also said they found abnormalities for the other open series. But basically, the gist of what he said was, hey, I did this thing. I didn't realize that I had it going on for the tournaments, and therefore I accept, sort of all the punishment and the fallout accordingly from that decision I made.
And right, so where are the disagreements coming in? Like, because I feel like there's
Punishment's too harsh.
You think the punishment's too harsh, Ian? Is that what it is?
Well, okay. Here's my take on it, right? Because I've known Roll 2 for a long time, right? I've teamed with him. He lives in literally the middle of bumblefuck Canada.
Yeah.
So he's always played on the absolute worst ping, right? No matter what, especially in older Halos. In this game, he probably got sick of playing matchmaking on the shitty ass ping, and so he probably did it, not thinking maliciously like, oh, I'm gonna fuck over every other team. I mean, Royal 2 is one of the best Halo players of all time. He's especially on land where it actually matters. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't need, and he's played on horrible ping. So he probably did do it just so he doesn't go insane playing ranked Halo. And, maybe he forgot about it. Maybe he fucking woke up late the day of the tournament of the Raleigh qualifier or whatnot. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he wasn't, it's not like people think that he was getting 10 ping, because his ping probably still wasn't that great, even on the Seattle. And he wasn't assuming that it would negatively affect the other players. So I think it's fair to like remove all the points or like the seeding and let them start in the amateur bracket, but to full on suspend him for that, when the bigger issue too, and without going too much off topic, is Halo needs to have a better better servers, like how COD does with the CDL. You know what I'm saying? Where, because I don't know how it works, and Kyle might know. Like, I don't know what servers that Sentinels would be playing on when they say play SSG or play Optic.
In COD, it started with like no servers at all. And then I know a lot of pros complained about it, and they started adding more servers in. I don't know if Halo, maybe they're going to have to do something along the lines of that. But what's up, Pat? You were about to say something?
Yeah, let's ignore the servers, okay? First off, absolutely not. You don't do something like this and forget about it. Bottom line, I think there's way too much friendship bias looking at this decision. I want to give a reference to my Ghost team, where me and Damon were playing the COD Champs qualifier, and I lived in North Carolina. Horrible connection. This is not something that you do regardless of intent. I drove, picked up Damon. We drove to my brother's house, who had a better connection than I did, and we land together for that qualifier. It's the same thing, just a small qualifier going into a big open event. If you're serious about this, and I'm sure Royal 2 is, I've known Royal 2 since when we were under Quantic together back in 2011. Great dude. His intent was probably not malicious, but this is still cheating. And in my opinion, they're lucky, right? I think all of them are lucky. Every single player on Sentinels is lucky, because if this was Valve, if this was Riot, if this was Ubisoft, if this was another developer, I think this punishment is way, way harsher. I really do. I think it's way worse than a 1 month ban for one player and a small $2,000 fine.
Well, Pat, this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, in games like Valorant, they literally, what they do to make it the most fair online, okay, is whoever has the highest ping, they like artificially inflate the ping for every other player in the lobby.
Okay, well, let's ask.
Do they actually do that? I didn't even know that.
So say we're playing in Val, or I don't know, it might even be like that. They do like that.
They do in Overwatch, because
yeah, in Overwatch they do it too.
You had the issue, right, where they were playing. They had a weird situation last couple of years with COVID, where they're like, how do we get East and West to play each other? So they fly Western teams out to Hawaii, and they had technology to make that competition fair as they were competing across undersea cable. But go ahead.
Well, hold on. Eli, could you give us what your understanding is on how the current Halo servers operate? To my knowledge, and I could be wrong, it takes the global, all players in the lobby, and finds the most neutral server for all players involved.
Yeah, I mean, you're essentially right. You're essentially right. So, I mean, like, there's a couple things like add to there. Like, so, you know, obviously, we haven't had a new Halo in a very long time, and MCC for the last several years, or since this came to PC, this has been an ongoing issue. Virtually in every single game, right? There were dozens and dozens of people that did this, and so much so that they actually built in the network settings the ability to deselect servers that you did not want to play on. You risk your own like longer game times and other things like that, but you could actually do exactly what they did legitimately in the game without issue. But like you said, for Infinite, that is not the case. It chooses the best host or best server for everyone in the lobby and gives it that. Now, where it really comes into question is when you've got, 4 players in Dallas on 10 ping, and if you've ever landed against a team like in that scenario or even played the current Optic roster that they're fielding down there, it is a pain, man. Those guys are on land, and you are lucky to get a trade kind of scenario there. It is incredibly difficult to play against them.
So Kyle, I have a question then. With the servers, right? Say that there was 8 of us right now in a lobby. Seven of us are in Dallas, Texas, right? And I'm in Canada. I'm in wherever the fuck World 2 lives. Mm-hmm. Would it ping the Texas servers that we be playing on?
Oh yeah, 100%. World 2 would have a hard time.
So that's my point. Yeah, I'm not saying what he did isn't cheating, and he for sure deserves to be punished, without a doubt. But what I'm saying is, this issue as a professional league shouldn't even be a thing. Like that's unfair in itself. And yeah, it might be legitimate for the word, but it's still not fucking fair.
I disagree.
I mean, Pat,
online isn't fair. It's never gonna be fair. If there's 7, and this is the problem that Call of Duty's had in the past with host fucking, right? Like, if there's 7 central players and there's 1 player who's on either coast or Canada or Europe, that person is not the person who's gonna get catered to. I'm sorry. If you're talking about the fairness for all 8 players involved, that one guy is getting fucked over 10 out of 10 times.
It's basically that's the reality. Wester exists because Tom Gravy was on the East Coast, and
there's a reason for
I'm saying that shouldn't be a thing.
There's a reason why one of them all flew. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's literally it's literally impossible to get everybody on the same ping though. So somebody's always going to be at a disadvantage, no? Unless people
it's not impossible because other games do it.
But when other games do it, go ahead, Pat. I was just gonna say.
I just wanted to finalize. Say if he didn't want to play on that ping, then he would fly out to Texas and join the rest of his team.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
That is the fix. Not to say, oh, I'm gonna manipulate servers to put myself in a better position when everyone else, all the other 7 players, move to Texas, and I'm gonna then screw them over, regardless of who it benefits team-wise. That's not on the game's fault. That's not the server's fault. That is the reality of an online qualifier. That's just how it's always been. And the fact that he did something, right? There's no oversight here, right? He intentionally did this to provide himself a better connection, whether he's playing matchmaking, whatever. This isn't something you forget about. He obviously researched how to do it, learned how to do it, and did it. This isn't something that's an oversight or you forget about. He knew he did it. He knew what it was doing. Whether anyone agrees whether it's right or wrong or fair or blaming the game, the reality is 7 out of 8 players are in Texas on a fair connection. You don't then put one guy who's in wherever Canada and let him manipulate his, connection to be able to pull a host to West 2 in Seattle or wherever it was and fuck everybody over to make it fair for him. That's just not the reality of an online tournament. He fucked up. This is on him every day of the week, period.
Let me add on something to Pat, because we have a lot of people that watch the show that I think are aspiring competitors. One really good tip, if you are in a situation, let's say you have poor network connectivity and you have a potential solution, but you're not sure if that solution is legal or you want some guidance, there is never a problem to contact your tournament admin. If you're on a platform, a game battles admin, CMG admin, whatever, and say, hey, I'm having issues. I want to try this thing. Is it legal? And either going to get a yes or no answer. If they say yes, great, then do it. If they say no, then it's against the rules. I think here, if he was having issues, I would love to know and see what the custody of conversation was with anyone at Halo or other admins. But, the ruling came down and he admitted that he had done a few things, and the repercussions of those are what they are.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I feel so. Ian, you just feel like the punishment was too harsh. Pat, you think it's fine. You think the punishment's fine.
Yeah. I mean, we're not arguing if he was right or wrong.
Yeah, I think we'll all agree on that.
Yeah.
So if you took away from that, you just wiped the Raleigh qualifier out, just let them play through open bracket with their full team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think you go and you suspend them.
That's not a big deal to a top 3 team in the game. Going to Space Station, right? Already, Formal went to the 100 Thieves show match, and they were already okay with playing through an open bracket. That's not a punishment to me. That's an inconvenience. And to inconvenience someone who maliciously cheated, that's not
maliciously cheat.
Okay, when I say malicious, I'm saying he went in, messed with his server settings to provide him a way to play on a better ping. That is malicious. That is intently going in and providing himself an advantage that he would not have had otherwise. That is where I bring by malicious. It is an intent to change the way that it would have been played out otherwise. But my point to you saying forfeit open pool play, that's not a big deal. That is the smallest deal. I bet now Sentinels, after picking up Formal, could not care less that they're playing an open bracket. That's not a punishment. We went through open bracket at what event? New Orleans. That it's not that it's an inconvenience. It's not a punishment at all.
If anything, I also feel for all the open bracket teams, right? There's going to be a lot of teams, people going to compete at this event that not only have to deal with us, where we're pivoting obviously and have to get our stuff together, but with 2 potentially incredible teams at open bracket, it's also just not fair for the open bracket teams.
Yeah, the open bracket teams are probably losing full now that they see all this.
Well, one of them I'm assuming is getting, whoever's the number 1 seed is now getting a pool play spot, right? So,
well, they lost all their. So the next highest in points, I believe, is who's moving up, and I want to say it's Xset.
Okay.
Well, wait. So Kyle, hold up. Just to run it back. So you said in Master Chief Collection, you could basically do what Royal 2 did, but it was legal. It was legit.
Right. No, there's a couple things there, because custom games in Master Chief Collection were like individual host based. So whoever's party leader is going to host that. Okay. Infinite custom games are not the same. They go to dedicated servers, something we've all wanted for so long. So even though we were able to do that in matchmaking, maybe I go and deselect Japan and Australia or something, but I'd still leave them all on if you want to get games in a timely fashion. Now, in regards to like what they did as well, this is also just prior to Optic's 3-peat. Right? And they lost. And not only that, the delays and everything else going on, they stopped Optic from getting their 3-peat and all their preparation. And Optic, huge unfair advantage. And I think everyone agree, even they would say that. But then they are going into the 3rd qualifier, going from 10 ping to 100 ping. They're playing a completely different game. And most of us have played Infinite here. Anything over like 40 ping, you start feeling it hard with a lot of the desync issues.
100%.
So was it just because I don't know if it was just Optic or whatnot, but were there any other teams that had that? Because I saw like Lucid was bitching about being on such a high ping when they played them, but like were any of the other top teams on a crazy ping, or was it just like Royal 2 is on a closer ping than everyone else?
So like the server wasn't that beneficial, I don't think, like to Royal 2, but it definitely hurt Optic, right? Like when people argue why would they do this, it didn't give their team an advantage. Well, the advantage is destroying the other team's ping, just absolutely gutting it.
Okay, because I saw Lethal say like Cloud9 when they played them, like everyone was on 30 ping in the lobby, and like Royal 2 was like 50, I don't know, something around there.
And then sorry, I'm confused too, because with this whole like cheating accusation, like are they saying that they were giving proof to like the league and they weren't looking at it? Like what was going on with that? Why was that like being said? People were like they weren't looking at their evidence. What is that? What was that all about? Is that true or is that false?
I'm confused on what evidence they could present that would negate what was 343 found, right? 343 stated in their article that they went and saw that from when Royal 2 specifically started playing Infinite, they saw he was connecting to all these different servers, and then on the day before and the day of that third qualifier or whatever, he specifically only connected to that one Seattle West 2, whatever server it was. So I don't know what you can really present that would negate that. I fully take Sentinel's position of, hey, Royal 2's playing on an unfair connection. We tried to do this to make it better, but that's still not right. That still goes against the whole point of the dedicated servers.
They were also all together before that. He I believe he went back home. I don't know the dates or whatnot, but there's a picture of the 4 of them at one of the LAN centers in California, I want to say, all 4 together, prepping, right? So at some point they, in this short window that we've had, I mean, and on top of that, this whole experience going into Halo Infinite has been one of the most insane things I've ever been a part of, right? We got team passes and spectator passes on sale before team passes, and then before the game's even out, and different deadlines changing constantly, and the whole thing has been a complete roller coaster. The amount of lag outs and disconnects that we've had, and just other struggles, you don't know what's going on. Is it a bug? Is it someone manipulating things? I mean, if you've been playing matchmaking and you're getting into these 200 ping lobbies, which I've experienced a lot of, it is becoming common practice where you are seeing people manipulate those servers, because there's no reason why 6 of the 8 people in the lobby should be on 200 ping while 2 guys are playing on LAN.
Well, I mean, that's also just the struggles of running an online league and doing things online. I mean, we were having the same problems in COD. Just people were pinging bad to servers. There was disconnects. Obviously arguments are breaking out. I think that's just why, obviously, with COVID and everything, it's kind of up in the air. That's why everything is happening like this. So I think it's just making the most out of a shit situation being online, but it does come with its issues. And then that's when you run into problems like this. And Ben, I see you nodding, and I know you're working at Esports Engine. You guys have been working really hard, and I know there's been a lot of setbacks, and I know you guys have been trying really hard to get everything, rolling and, back to normal. And hopefully we can get that. I also want to talk a little bit about Mr. Formal, because this guy comes in, he tweets this today. And he sneaks his way onto the Sentinels roster. So Formal bouncing around here. And what do you guys think about this? Formal joining the Sentinels for the event.
Well, let's ask Mike, kind of from your perspective, sort of how that conversation went down with Matt.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean,
there he is. He's in the chat. Here he comes.
Right. Matt is. He's one of a kind and such a funny guy. And God, was it fun having him on the team. But yeah, it has been quite an interesting roller coaster from the beginning, trying to kind of orchestrate. When I joined Space Station Gaming and we're trying to build a new roster, we started with my brother, and just trying to get. I had some guys in the community that I was a really big fan of, some top talent players, in Tylenol and Deciding, and people I think could go really far in the league. Neither one of them have ever been to an event, but if you've ever played against them, these are ones where people are like, oh, they're cheating, but they're not. They're just ridiculously good. So I actually reached out to Formal right in the beginning, kind of just a Hail Mary, and I've thrown a lot of those lately, and some of them have come back to bite me as well, because I got roasted for messaging Frosty. But
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, fuck them.
It's all good.
Shoot your shot, fuck them, do it.
Right. So, I hit up Formal, and initially, he was down to run it. And then, obviously, the snipe down, kind of back and forth with Apex and things. Formal was initially going to play with us, but then kind of last minute, he jumped ship and went to the Inconceivables, or, FaZe roster, and was going to replace snipe down in the beginning. But then, come to the very last minute, I think, snipe down had a change of heart or whatever it was. He kind of jumped back in. Now, it was initially his spot. They were holding it for him for God knows how long. So they ended up picking up Formal, but then dropping Formal again right before the event.
Yeah, so Formal is just bouncing around here. He came out. He said on a serious note, this was too good of an opportunity to pass up. I appreciate the guys on SSG. It was fun to learn the game together, and I wish them the best of luck. I'll be playing with Sentinels for Raleigh. Should be a spicy weekend. I'm still Optic forever, though. Obviously, it's a little weird because I think it was Optic who tweeted out a video of Formal practicing in the facility, and behind him is the whole Optic team. That was actually fucking hilarious.
Good content right there.
Yeah, but I think for Formal, he's just doing what he thinks best. Sentinels is obviously a really good
Mm-hmm.
roster. He wants to just join and see if he could turn some heads. I'm also curious to see how long Formal does this, if he's willing to compete the whole year. Like, is Formal willing to ride this out the whole year and compete all year long, or is he just trying to come in and do what he could do? Like, what do you guys think?
So I mean, from my understanding, is it was like a one-hit kind of thing. I know when I got him initially, or when he agreed to do it, I didn't expect to have him after the event. I figured like he'd have a great opportunities. Like I said, he's one of a kind player, and my thought process was it's really hard to turn down that a player like that, or not jump on the opportunity to pick someone like him up. So we had when he initially left for FaZe, we picked up another player, and it was like the day before that most of the drama went down, and so we were wanting to stick with our player going into that online qualifier, and we did pretty well. But then afterwards, once I knew Formal had kind of been replaced by Snipedown, I reached back out to Formal again and said, hey, I know things didn't work out. Would you be interested in kind of trying to run it back once again? And I think he was down. We had done really well and put up really good fights against some of these top teams, and we knew being one of the most inexperienced, we are just drastically improving every day, and getting these guys up and ready to compete with the best of them. So he was down. I let the other player know, while we have nothing against you and you did nothing wrong, it's just an opportunity that's really hard to pass up on. I want to give Formal a shot. Like, it was initially my Hail Mary shot. It was working out. Things were looking amazing. And we're super happy to have him. So then we're going into the next qualifier. A couple days before the event, we kind of realized and put two and two together that he has his Call of Duty Vanguard event going on, so that we actually won't be able to play in the online qualifier for pool play. But nonetheless, we talked about it and decided we'll wait for him, right? I actually strapped up, played in the online qualifier with the team,
I like that.
just to hold his spot. We got top 12, and we could have done even better too.
Not bad.
Considering even up to the day before the event, we were practicing with Formal, just because for us, we had already accepted that with the roster deadline, there's no way we'll be able to get into pool play. We have to play through open. And in that scenario, it didn't matter what I was doing. I wanted to put Formal back on the squad. So we basically forfeited our spot in pool play, so that we could team with Formal and go forward with that roster.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I feel like we got a lot of storylines going into Raleigh, and I know a lot of the Halo guys are super excited to just, finally see these guys back at it on the stage. Unfortunate that, some people are like, Raleigh's ruined now, and saying a bunch of stupid shit. I don't think he's ruined. It does suck to not see Sentinels playing with their full roster, but it's cool to see the movement and the storylines and the drama of it. I mean, people are definitely invested into all this shit for sure. Snipedown, did you guys just see Snipedown's tweet, by the way?
Yeah, and I think Snipedown's tweet kind of sparks a bigger conversation. Is that not just with Royal One, who's obviously Royalty's brother, but to my knowledge, and Elamite, you can kind of piggyback on this because you have more information than I do, is that throughout this process they were denying this allegation, and they were kind of saying that they did nothing. And then Royalty obviously tweeted out and admits that he did in fact do it, regardless of what the reasoning was. I think it kind of puts a bigger point of your whole team denied it throughout the whole process, and then eventually Royalty obviously came out and said, hey, no, I did it.
Yeah, I could definitely have a lot to say on this one, that's for sure. I mean, you're going through and looking at it, and I personally have been one back and forth, in my head on what's right. There's obviously everyone knows each other. We have so much history together on all these things, and man, did I think they were taking that to the grave, right? I thought for sure this investigation is going to come back inconclusive. We're never going to know anything, and you're never going to be able to change anyone's minds. And there were lots of DMs, and all the DMs have been come to light, right? From personal ones like, hey, why are you guys doing this? We know you're doing this, to them defending themselves. And even in was it 2 nights ago, I think Lethal even had a stream that was very entertaining, to say the least, where he put there was some graphics involved. If you didn't see those ones,
it was a good one.
Wait, what was he doing? What was he doing?
It was a courtroom.
There was a courtroom with
shit.
some of the graphics where the graphics were like, Sentinels, Cloud9, HCS, and all these
That's
other
comedy.
people. Just how they're all against Sentinels, right? How they're all just against Sentinels. And besides that, there's been this huge drama where people are asking in streams, like, why won't you scrim Sentinels? Why are you blacklisting Sentinels? All this, just so much drama stemming even before any of these accusations kind of started going off and whatnot. Which teams will play each other? They weren't able to get scrims, and even our team scrimming with them and trying to figure out like what's going to happen, what's going forward. So when I actually saw that they that tweet from Royal 2 where they're admitting to doing it after listening, and the snipe down tweet, but his brother standing up for him and everything else, I honestly thought they would take it to the grave. I cannot believe that there was any admission, because they put everyone, including myself, on absolute blast on their stream, where I've been getting just Sentinel messages constantly over the last 2 days, about how shitty I am for not essentially saying like, hey guys, I think there's proof you cheated. I don't think it's right we scrim you. Like, that's essentially it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say, a learning lesson again, a lot of aspiring pros or e-athletes watching this, like when situations like this happen, like you want to come up with a decisive statement, and that's that, and set the record and make it a short story. And I think like a learning lesson for the folks on Sentinels today, they just kind of extend this throughout the whole day with their denials and some other tweets and providing context. And then for Royal 2 then later in the night to come out with the apology just made all of that discourse over like 4 or 5 hours to seem like a little bit off. So I think going forward, maybe a little bit more respect, maybe a little bit more of a buttoned up kind of calm strategy probably would have helped them, because it didn't really do them much favors on the timeline today.
Mm-hmm. No, and they're still going at it. I mean, you see Lethal and Snipe down there. They're bantering a little bit back and forth. I mean, listen, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, you also don't know if this apology and admission of guilt was also part of his, punishment, right? Like, hey, we're only going to do a $2,000 fine and suspend you a month, but you need to tweet out that you did, in fact, do this. Like, it was, admit to it. That could have been a part of the punishment as well, right? I've been in cases before where, statements made after the fact that you need to, accept that or take responsibility for doing something is a part of the punishment itself. So I think that's something to consider as well. And also maybe, maybe Royal 2, took this all upon himself and saying, hey, like, this was all me. My teammates had no idea about it. This is a fully my decision, blah, 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 which I don't agree with, right? I think if everyone who here has been a part of a competitive team, decisions like this is a team decision, right? You don't just, oh, guys, I'm on 50 ping where, you're normally on 10. This is something that they obviously were all aware of. So there's no telling what, went on behind the scenes and stuff like that. But to Halo as an esport, since Halo 5, I think Halo's, this Infinite was the revival of Halo esports. And I think a part of, reviving an esport to being back to this, serious top esport level is, the developer and publisher has to be at a point where this is taken super serious. And I think that's a big disconnect, right? Where these players aren't used to something like this. And if that's something they want for their scene to continue to grow and have these, $1 million prize pool seasons and crowdfunding and stuff like that, things like this need to be taken serious. And that's where my final stance on the ruling is that they really got lucky. And I think there was, a lot of kind of just like respect from 343 and, whoever was responsible for making these decisions that were obviously, hey, this is our world champions. But going forward, I think they did this to make a point and to prove a point that this is going to be taken seriously. And this is just something you can't do in, the revival of your scene and how important that 343 has come back and provided a great game to play competitively going forward.
Yeah.
And it's really sad too, because they didn't need to do it. Like, they won last night without doing it. You know what I mean? I think that's the part that hurts the most too. It's like, you didn't even need to do this. You know, and these kids got mills in the bank too. For so many world championships, other things. It just wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I mean, you don't gotta take away Royal 2's talent or anything like that. Like, he definitely didn't need to do anything like this. He didn't have to do that. It's not worth it. I can understand from Ian's side. I can understand from Pat's side. Like, you guys are both making good points, but at the end of the day, I mean, Royal 2 came out, made a statement, apologized for it. He'll be back, and the event is still going to go on, and so forth. So I think we're going to have an amazing event at Raleigh. I do want to change the conversation into Call of Duty a little bit, but Elamite, if you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay. We're just going to talk about Call of Duty challenges. If you want to dip out or have anything else more that you want to get off your chest or want to say while you're here, now's your time, man. Now's your time.
Definitely have no shortage of things to say today, man. Like I've definitely been all over the place, more phone calls than I care to count, just trying to figure out what's going on.
Who you guys picking up, Kyle?
Looks like we're going to be moving forward with Tusk. So Tusk was our initial day one pickup.
Hell yeah.
And then we obviously dropped him, didn't practice for 3 weeks, and then picked him up 2 days before the event again. So, as far as like how it affects our team is really can't affect our team
at an all-time
anymore,
listen,
right? We've essentially
be
been training formal for Sentinels for the last 3 weeks. And now they'll get to use them for the event too. And, it is just with the whole pool play and seeds and everything else, it definitely stinks that we sat out pool play. In order to keep formal, but only because we sat out pool play can they get formal.
If he was on
open
a
bracket
team in pool, he wouldn't be able to go down.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So kind of like a double-edged sword that we have to fall on that one. But if anything, you learn in esports is just pick yourself back up and keep going. And we got a lot to prove at this event. I think Tusk is a great player, and we are excited on what we can do. So I think, we've been put in a bad spot, but it's not the first time any of us have been screwed over, I don't think. And it's time to,
That's well said, man.
bring it back.
You know how esports is. People are getting screwed over left and right. You got to get through the hurdles, man, to get to the top. That's just how esports is. Every player, every person in the scene, they've done, they've gone through those hurdles for sure. I think everybody could attest to that. And Pat, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, have you done the math to find out what seed you'll be in open and if there's a potential SSG versus Sentinel match for pool play? If that's a possible
that would be
matchup?
That would be something. I have not yet. The point systems are so just changing constantly with people getting stripped, people's points changing. We literally got our 4th now as of like an hour ago, 2 days before 2 days before we leave for the event. So definitely going to be one of the most challenging experiences, I think, of our career so far moving forward. Never have I kind of been put in this kind of a situation, I think, but it is going to be another one to learn from.
Yeah. Hey, Elamite, I really appreciate you coming on, man. This is the first time you've been on the flank, man. So we all really appreciate it, man. Let's get a Elamite in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Show this guy some love. And again, dude, I hope you guys get it all sorted out. Sounds like you guys got everything under control. A lot of hurdles, but I wish you guys the best of luck, man. I really do. We'll be watching, man. We'll be tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so much, ZOOMAFIA, and we'll have to talk again after the event and see how things have played out.
Oh, I'm down. We'll be running episodes. I was thinking about doing Halo episodes as well during the event, like after the games and stuff. Maybe get some people on. I like to get Halo people on here if I'm doing Halo shows because I'm like disconnected from the Halo scene personally. So I like getting people on who can kind of talk about it. But as the season goes on, I'll learn more and more, and I'll start getting to know everybody, and we'll get into it, So that won't be a problem forever. But early on, I like having people come on and speak a little bit just so I can learn. So I really do appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. Thank you so much.
Honor is all mine, man, and I'd be happy to do it again.
Hell yeah, man.
Good to see you guys, dude.
Yes,
have a
sir,
great
man.
night, everybody.
Hey, have a good night, bro. Have a good one.
Later, brother.
Hey, dude, can we get a Williamite? I don't know how to Williamite. Let's get a W's in the chat for Elamite. I can't say his name.
Speaking on the pronunciation, Tom, I'm just going to help your chat out as
Elamite.
a fellow North Carolinian myself.
Yeah, I was about to
they want you to say Raleigh, not Raleigh, Raleigh.
Raleigh?
Raleigh, there you
Raleigh.
go.
Raleigh.
Sir.
Oh, it's not Raleigh?
Yeah, it's Raleigh.
It's not like a car rally.
Listen, man, fuck y'all. All right, it's Raleigh. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I want to transfer the conversation into COD a little bit. Let's get into Call of Duty. Let's switch the focus. All right, Call of Duty, bread and butter. We're going back to challengers, and Nicola comes out on top. Nikki D, classic. And who's the squad band? It's Nicola. It's Shawnee. It's Exceed.
Assault and Exceed.
And Assault, right? And they come out.
They blitzed through the bracket. I think they only lost like once or twice to a tournament, like a map. And yeah, so like a couple of things about this tournament. Interestingly enough, the rumored sort of Methods team didn't play in this tournament. So if Zin's in the chat, I'm curious kind of the thought process there. But it was a pretty kind of interesting day or two of Call of Duty for reference for those who maybe didn't know prior to this tournament. Although Control did come out into the game. It's not being used in this tournament because of bugs. So they're playing 3 S&Ds, 2 hardpoints in best of 5 series.
What's the format for that, Ben? Do you?
I think it's hardpoint S&D, hardpoint S&D, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I saw.
Yeah.
It's like 3 S&D. It was like you could have back-to-back S&Ds, which I thought was really weird.
But I saw
starting
teams
it with S&D is fine.
I saw teams interchanging 3 hardpoints, right? They were agreeing on it. Some teams were 100%.
They were doing some swaps.
They were swapping it out. They were doing some GA fucking map switches and game mode switches and shit. Any news on a third game mode? Any news at all? Have we heard any rumors, anything going on with that or no?
I assume at this point it's got to be control. We're just waiting for them to fix it.
Well, I saw Donnie put a tweet out to, I think it was to Kenny, talking about control, and then he deleted it. But I saw some spawns in control, and it doesn't look playable.
They just gotta fix the game mode. It's still a little buggy, so we'll see once they roll out.
And that's an unknown ETA thing as well, right? Like that could be.
I believe so. Yeah.
Any amount of time. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, listen, I heard from Soap. Dude, for some reason, Soap is always right, dude. He's always. Well, what's the problem, Ben? What's the problem?
Go ahead.
I was gonna give Soap. I gotta give Soap some gas here because he told me 2 days ago. He said Nicola's team is gonna win the best amateur team in the game right now. They're gonna win. I think top 2 is definitely Nicola's team, obviously, because they won the cup, and then Zinni's team. I'm curious as to why they didn't play any either, Ben. I have to talk to Tony about that, or if he's in the chat and wants to come in and talk about it, he can. But why do you think that is? Why do you guys think they didn't play in it?
I would love to know because I got a couple of ideas, but I don't know which one.
I mean, look, right? There's only 11 teams in the CDL. If that 12th spot is still up for grabs, potentially still could come in. If they are the front runners to being picked up, right? If they are the behind the scenes front runner guys to be the 12th team in the CDL, if there is a 12th team, then if they would play, I mean, they only run the risk of ruining their stock, right? Winning it wouldn't change if they're already the front runners, right? Even if they won, they're still the front runners whether they win or not. But if they lose, they're only lowering that potential stock. So, that paired with the fact that there's no points up for grabs, right? There's nothing that's gonna bother them for the rest of the year. Yeah. And in reality, it's just practice with a little bit of money on it. I could see them, completely justifying not playing in this. And it makes sense if they are, if they do feel they're the front runners for this 12th spot. So, for them, I mean, I think it's just a waiting game, right? If it's announced that there's not a 12th team tomorrow, I'm sure that they would instantly play the next one. But, there's just no reason for them to if they believe that they're the front running team to get picked up.
Wait, how many Challenger Cups are there?
There's 2.
There's gonna be 2 right now without points. So Zin, we got Zin in the.
Oh, Tony, boy, how you doing, Tony? Welcome to the flank. It's not your first time, I'll tell you that. Not your first time.
So Zin, what's going on? What was your kind of reason for your team's decision to forego playing in the cup this weekend?
Paul and Venom had a food truck festival that they wanted to go to.
Why don't you try again with a different reason?
Man. So they had a food truck fest. They wanted to indulge in some food.
That makes sense.
Listen, man, I can't take anything serious where people can be cheating and you'd have no idea with banned stuff. There are people who are wall hacking that you probably wouldn't even know are wall hacking. It's just a host fucking game. Like right now, I'd rather just get pro practice and it just didn't make sense, especially with no points up for grabs. There was no.
Is that what Nato spoke on? The soft walling?
I mean,
was there actually no points? You didn't get anything from winning this shit?
It's cash only.
No, the only thing that was up for grabs is money, and it doesn't make sense to go through the stress of the shit practice and all the horse shit that came with playing that tournament. It just the pros did not outweigh the cons.
How much money did they win?
Like 500 each.
Yeah, not that much.
Yeah, really? That's
Pat,
it?
I disagree with Pat though.
Zed, can I ask kind of a tough question if you don't mind?
Disagree with me.
I mean, depends what you ask, but yeah.
I do.
What would you say in the perception of? Okay, so I understand what you're saying, right? Like tournament grind, 2 days, like. You're gonna play a lot of rounds where it's useless games, and then you'll actually play, real teams. Like, is there's a perception on that thought process that you're trying to avoid losing? Like, what would you and how would you address that statement?
As in, we were scared to play the Challengers Cup.
Correct. What would be your response to a statement like that?
Why? Well, then why would we scrim pro teams every day who are probably stronger than some of the challenger teams?
On stream. Yeah.
Like if I was seriously worried about stock, I would not have the stream on because it doesn't make sense. Like if that's what I was actually worried about.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm definitely not scared of it. And honestly, like I don't think.
Is there no way to tell if someone
I don't
is
think a
using the banned
challenger's
stuff?
like no. So there's no.
So someone could cheat against you, right? If they
Yes,
wanted to.
and there'd
Okay.
be no way to know. And my mindset is this: I'm not accusing anybody of cheating, but I also don't trust anybody who are trying to achieve their goals or get back to where they want to be. If that makes sense. Like
Right.
I don't know what people will do if they think it's life or death, like career or no career. So
You're saying Adam Assault could be using vitals.
he could be. I could
Okay.
be cheat, dude. The scariest thing are the. I'm not. No, I'm obviously trolling. I'm trolling. But the scariest thing is that the people with credibility would just get away with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
oh,
actually kind of
the
crazy.
stance that I had.
If you're
That's
like
kinda crazy.
If we hopped in
hacking?
challengers tomorrow, we could cheat and no one would know.
Oh,
They
like-
might know with you, but like,
Oh yeah, good try. Not in respawn. Maybe SNG
but
if
but,
I'm
but
dropping ball.
yeah, I think Zin's point is the best point.
Because let me tell you,
credible people aren't.
if I
gonna get
was cheating, you would
blamed.
never know. Like I know for a fact that if I was
Oh, for
cheating,
sure.
there would be not a single chance in hell that you would know I'm cheating.
Nah, eventually
'Cause I
something
just
would
play it
slip
off.
up, bro. There'd be
No,
a
it
leak
wouldn't.
somewhere.
Well,
you
first off,
or
I wouldn't be
s-
streaming personally. I
And
mean,
there's also no theater
that's
mode.
for sure.
There's no theater mode, right? So there, what you know
It'd be
what?
hard. It'd be
Yeah.
hard if you yeah.
With no
But I don't- I
streaming and
just
no
feel
theater
like-
mode. I
That's
don't know if
fucking.
you could
That is
prove it.
terrifying. That is fucking terrifying. Going into like a tournament, like when these like anybody can join, just a shit ton of teams. You don't even know what the fuck's gonna happen. Go ahead, Ian.
No, I was gonna say I just feel like it's a bad mood that Zin and them don't play unless this rumored 12 team is basically like all but locked in as Zinni and TJ's team. Because
Mm-mm.
Pat, you were saying like the stock, but if it's not right, if,
So let me-
like if Zinni and them aren't already basically guaranteed, right? What if Nikki D's team, right? They've fucking won the whole thing, dropped 2 maps. What if they do it again? They go back to back. Yeah, it's for no points. It's basically useless in that aspect. But if the 12th team is watching, maybe now they're starting to think, well, should we do Zinni's team or
Right, that-
Classics?
I get what your point is, and yeah, maybe in a perfect world that would work that way. But let's be honest, we understand how this stuff works, how behind the scenes stuff works. The 12th team, if there is one, is going to come in. They're going to do the research. They're going to talk to people who are involved. And if Zinni's team is, playing pro teams every day, splitting maps, doing really well, I don't think any stock is going to be put into that specific Challenger Cup as much as, the word from either other teams, other managers, the league, the kind of just giving that, because right, that 12th team is coming in behind, right? So they're going to need to catch up regardless, and they're going to need to be presented with information from people who are involved. So whether it's Nikki D's team is better than Zin's team or whatever I think that's an irrelevant point. It's going to be about, coming in and deciding on things that are discussed behind the scenes between people involved.
I mean, who knows? They could already be locked in. I'm just saying it's
Yeah, right. I don't know
always
that
it's
either.
always next man up mentality. So if you sit on the sidelines and someone else fucking proves their worth, it could fuck you over.
I just don't think
essentially.
if
Yeah,
you don't
Zinni's
know.
team is the front runner, I don't think a cash cup that Nikki D's team dominates is gonna sway. Personally, I don't think that. If there
maybe
is a
with
12
all
team
with
that's
I mean, because
almost all but locked in, and Zinni's team is hypothetically the front runner for that team, I don't think Nikki D's team coming in and dominating the cash specific cup.
Nick said his team's by far better than Zinni's team too.
That may
so
be
like
true.
they're
That may
saying
be
that
true.
that they deserve the spot.
But
if
you would
there is one.
also say last year that
They also-
Challenger
I mean,
team's better than pro teams anyway. So that I
I'm-
think
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
argument.
fair.
I mean, here's the thing. Hold on. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not even trying to like throw shade, but like we have a double East Coast and a double West Coast split, playing on either quad host or a Texas host in every single series. So there are at least 1 to 2 people pinging 10.
Can you
And
update us on
that's
where
fair.
Nikki D's team is located then, just so we're aware?
I don't know. Salt's in Texas. I mean, that's not the point. All I'm saying is
I'm
our
just
split is
curious.
absolutely terrible, and we're always at a disadvantage. So, I mean, I don't think anybody's actually looking into the scrim results and saying, "Oh my God!" Like, obviously, good scrim results are great, and that's kind of like the one negative of playing on stream is like it's the only thing to really watch right now, like on like the pro or high level. So everybody looks at scrims and they're like, yo, these guys are frying in scrims. These guys aren't playing well in scrims. When like everybody knows, just because you're playing well in scrims in December does not mean you're going to be.
But I also
decent in April.
think you guys streaming your scrims is helping you guys. I feel like more like Nagola's team, for instance, like they should stream. Like they should be streaming shit. Like they should be streaming.
Every single top challenger players should be streaming.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no excuse not to.
There's no reason not to.
You're doing
because
yourself a disservice by not
all
streaming.
it does is just put you in front of more eyes, for more people to see you, and all it takes is for that one right person to see you play from whoever the fuck is coming in, and you're there, you're in there. You know what I'm saying?
Did they confirm 12 teams, Tom? Or are all these teams trying to get this last spot, and then they're just going to be like, nah, we're just running with 11.
There's rumor
that could happen, Ian. That very well could happen.
It could be 11 teams. We don't know.
What we know is that the Dallas, I guess, or the Texas group now, has apparently like some custody of that spot, and they're
I think they have the right to sell it.
Yeah, they have the right to sell it. And Hastro tweet, I think, was it earlier this week or last week?
A week ago.
That they've already have a couple of different options and they're pursuing those. So we haven't heard anything further since then.
But wasn't that was also said with the potential Washington team that backed out, right? Like it's conversations like that can always be good, right? They can always be very positive and looking like it's going to happen, and then something could fall apart last second, right? That's something that I think a lot of people need to be, take with us Hastro's comments with a grain of salt because of how much, how big these transactions are.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the other Activision issues that are going on, it probably drives companies away from wanting to get into CDL right now, I'm sure.
Also, with all the leaks that Warzone is the franchise's priority, right? I think that came out where
we've been knew that.
Right. We knew it, but it was like
I don't know how
that Activision agrees that Warzone is the priority going forward for the franchise. And if you're a CDL team owner, right, that's got to sting. That's got to piss you off.
I don't think so. I think if you're a CDL team owner, you're sitting there saying, "Yo, how the fuck can we incorporate Warzone more?"
Yeah, but you got to think. The incorporation stuff aside, if you bought into a $25 million league for however long, and the publisher that you bought in with is saying, hey, multiplayer Call of Duty is no longer the priority for us, our priority is Warzone, and your $25 million investment is catered toward multiplayer, you're pissed off. I don't
know if you want to go down this rabbit hole, because it's kind of like reiterate the same things we were saying like on the last one, and it's just like there are a lot of things we need to do.
Quick. Here's the thing about Call of Duty that's not talked enough about.
I'm out though, boys. Good night.
Good night, Tony.
Later, Zin.
Later.
Right now, the server space in COD is actually pretty big if you think about it, because you've got the standard yearly game release, you've got Warzone, and
hold on, Ben, real quick to interrupt you. That yearly game release is on the potential chopping block, right? That's not.
That was a rumor we've been seeing flying around post this release. But just let me finish my point real quick. Because there's a third thing that we don't talk about a lot in this show, and the World Championships for it were literally like the last 2 weeks. Is COD Mobile is huge. Maybe not so much on this show, but if you guys go and look at their,
I think it's on the mobile side.
Yeah, COD Mobile is probably bigger than competitive COD.
Mobile gaming is massive to begin with.
Actually?
Mobile gaming is just massive.
It's probably bigger than
damn, we might need to start. Hey, we gotta get some COD. We gotta do some COD Mobile flanks,
I don't know if you guys have seen Fwiz tweets, but like him talking about mobile gaming in general, especially on YouTube's platform, is like their front runner. Like it's massive.
Damn, I even know that. That's crazy.
The bar for accessibility is a lot lower, right? Everybody's basically got a smartphone at this point. All you gotta do is download the app and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's very true. People are playing that shit on the go, dude.
Can't play that shit with a nub though. I tried, believe me, for sponsorship for it.
Dude,
hey, you want to know what they should do though? You want to know what they should do, Ben? And everyone else. So I could be completely wrong. I don't think that they're going to get another team for the 12th spot. I think it'll be like a team that is run by the league essentially, because it's just coming up so quick. I think they should have like a challengers tournament, and the winner of the tournament gets the spot. Like winner takes all. That's how they should do it.
An online tournament?
Yeah, fuck it.
I didn't say
the cheats are coming out. The cheats are coming out, bro.
Yeah. I haven't played Vanguard. I would log on and play for that just to do it. Like
dude, I'm talking wall hacks, geofilters, everything.
Hey, Pat, I'm loading up with soft hacks. On God, I am.
Well, hold on, Ben. I actually want to follow this up and get your opinion on this. If a 12 team did buy in, right? Let's say a 12 team was like, hey, we're really interested in the spot. But, dude, they're so late into fielding a team. Is it even worth it as a 12th team to buy in for this season?
Well, that's what happened with DC, no, Pat? Isn't that what happened with DC?
Well, but I'm saying if I'm a 12th team and I'm that ownership group and I'm buying in, I'm saying, hey, I want to lock in my spot, but I don't want to start until next year.
I would say it's actually a great situation, because think about it. The Texas group's got zero leverage. It's actually probably a great time to buy the spot if you think about it.
Yeah, but would you want to buy the spot and start now is what I'm saying.
I mean, the deal you're going to get is going to be amazing,
right?
though. You're late, but think about it's way easier to buy it now than it is over the off season.
No, sorry. I want to buy it now, but I don't want I want to be the 12th team, but I want to start the season when I have a fair chance.
Yeah, you get at a discount basically.
Yeah, you get the discount, but you don't start this season, right? Like you buy the spot. The league runs this year with 11 teams. If let's say there's only one interested party, hypothetically. If you buy the spot now, you buy it right now, you get it locked in. Do you really want to field a team when you're at such a disadvantage to have a competitive roster? With all the league, all 11 teams already fielding rosters, already having contracts locked in, already having salaries negotiated, the league, most teams already having a month of practice. Do you really want to come into that environment, or would you rather say, hey, we'll buy the spot now? This year we'll run with 11 teams, and then we'll field our team next year when we have a fair.
I mean, they're gonna
chance.
pick up a team, Pat, that has practice. Like the people like Zinni's team and Nicola's team, right? That just won the cup. Like those guys have been practicing every day. Those guys have been going hard. So it won't be at a huge disadvantage if they come in and go.
I don't think that's exactly what Pat's saying though. I think you're making an interesting point, Pat. But my counter is again like if you were gonna buy a spot. Or get transfer of a spot is a good time to get one because the terms are probably pretty favorable in the situation because the team has to move on from that spot. Yes, to spin up your entity and all the pieces around it, it's going to be a little bit of a sprint. Branding IP, I'm sure all of that's going to be difficult. But
you're rushing last minute.
But you're going to come in. You don't. The players that you're probably signing don't also have a lot of leverage. So you're going to get probably pretty favorable salary terms for whoever's coming in. And look, we've talked about this a bunch on this show. The way that contracts are structured in the CDL, you could squall up your team after the first year and go in a different direction. I agree with what Austin said. They are in a situation though right now where next offseason isn't as lit as say the offseason after that. But there will be opportunities for them to upgrade their roster.
Why
won't it be as lit?
Just because people are on the back end of their 1+1s.
But what if I come in, right, and I'm like, damn, I'm coming in, but I really, really want to build my team around, let's say Slasher. Let's say I'm coming in, I'm like, damn, I really just wanted to build my team around Slasher. There's 0% that he would be up for sale, right? 0%. There's just no chance that you would come in and be able to build the team that you want. And I think that's important too, is making, if you're a franchise and you're coming in, you want to build your roster around whatever your goals are for your team, having that pick of the litter, so to speak, and having that fair chance to, let's say they'd offer way more money to Slasher than anyone else in the league would because that's who they want to build around. They wouldn't have that opportunity, right? There's just no way. And on the 1+1s, they would have it then. They would obviously have to play a buyout.
It's an interesting point. That being said, though, you could come in and if you have some capital that you want to spend, you could theoretically try and make a couple of trades happen and do a move that way. Obviously, there's an upstart cost.
Hey, Doug's also free.
Ignore trades. You still have to build a team given the current challengers
team around
rosters.
Doug has been piecing, dude.
Hold on one second, guys. Pat, repeat that if you wouldn't mind.
So coming in right now, you don't have an opportunity to poach, right? You're coming in, you're late. You have to field a challengers roster before you can even think about trades and moving on with transfer packages later in the season. Automatically, you have to field a current challengers roster, right? Whether you pick and choose from different challenger teams or pick one challenger team whole, that's your only options if you come in right now.
Well, we've seen double-digit teams make changes every season.
I'm not saying they couldn't make changes. I'm saying they would have to initially field that roster to begin with, and that's what you have to start your brand off with.
I see your point, but I think that's a very short-term view of it. Look, if I'm a business and I have a chance to come in and get favorable terms and upstart my business, you might be willing to take the run on that. And from a competitive standpoint, look, you're not going to have started fresh in an off season where you could flash around some cash and really build a superstar roster. It's going to have to be a little bit more of a project, but it's also not underselling the fact that for example, let's look at Zinni and Nick's team. They both are comprised of players that have been either on top CWL or CDL teams. There are a lot of experience on both those teams on how to navigate the landscape. Are those teams going to work if they were played at pro level? Well, you could say that about the other 11 teams in the league for the most part as well, because the season hasn't started yet. So, I see what you're thinking, Pat, but I won't be surprised if someone does figure out a transaction, and we are able to see if a 12th team can go ahead and complete the list of teams this year.
Oh, I think I hope they do, for the sake of just the league and the guys and challengers who obviously deserve spots. The one thing that I would say, Ben, is if that does happen last minute, and if a team does secure a spot, now to Christmas or whatever before that deadline is that they would just need a fabulous general manager. And I mean I can think of a couple of guys off the top of my head. But
you trying to throw your name in the ring, Pat?
I'm just saying, you just need a fabulous general manager to kind of facilitate that.
Hey,
that
Pat
move,
robbed LAG blind.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alex
robbed
in the chat, I think.
General manager, but still co-host of the flank, though, Pat, right? Of course.
Oh, absolutely.
You're like a triple threat. You're like a triple threat, double threat, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Dynamic.
But listen, one thing I did want to say with this fucking shit. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, sorry. Snakebite came out with a fucking tweet. Yeah, just if you guys wanted to read this out real quick about the Halo thing. But he said, hopefully it goes without saying, but myself and the rest of the team weren't aware of the full situation. To be honest, this process has been beyond frustrating. We'll be at the event with Formal, as it's unfair to all our fans. Much love and apologies to the fans who wanted to see our full team. I think that's set the rest. I think that was a good tweet to put out, just to kind of just end that whole shit.
Aware of the full situation is.
I remember what I was going to say, though.
Professional.
Bro, this offseason's too fucking long, man. I'm losing dude. We need more shit here, dude. What Jack said on the last event or the last fucking flank.
December to June or July.
Oh, dude, it's like so fucking stale right now, bro. Like, I don't know.
Hold on. I did see something though, and Ben, you can probably speak to this, but did you see the Optic Texas versus I think LA Thieves show match? So that kind of goes against what Jack was saying, where teams are contracted not to play against each other.
Well, that's why I said
format.
No. I was saying that because, and was Jack saying that as well? Was that what he was saying?
I think he stated that it's against in the contract. It's against the rules.
Because I've said that before
those
too.
Teams to play before the league.
Because I wanted to do that. I wanted to run Zoomaa tournaments where the franchise teams were battling it out, just the franchise teams. But apparently, it was against the rules because they're not allowed to do that.
I think it's a different
could you
situation.
do it, but not for money? Because then it's just a glorified.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Brand.
Jack is this being ran by the league?
Names.
Like, is the league in on this? Like this show match? Does the league have something to do with this?
A couple of things to this. There is precedence here. I do remember that the Houston Outlaws and the Dallas Fuel did a series of show matches. I think it was 2020. They called it like the Lone Star Showdown or something like that. So there is precedence within like the Activision Blizzard esports ecosystem of doing this. My guess is that they probably had to go back to Activision and get sign off in order to pull this off. Because I do know that, and people come on the show and discussed it, that there are issues where you're playing full teams in another competition that's not sanctioned by
Activision. Ben, people in the chat are saying it's not competitive rule set, so it could be like all snipers.
I think the thing is it's the branding, because what Jack said, and he could have obviously misspoke. He was on here for a minute. He stated that the first time that you're allowed to see the Optic Texas against the LA Thieves is the launch of the CDL. And that's the point of the CDL season being in February. It's the first time that you get to see these franchises compete against each other.
Right.
It's too long, bro.
It is
I
too
agree
long.
with you, but that was my point with the show match thing. Is this the first time that we're seeing like a kind of, rewrite of the rules and kind of maybe a switch up of what, wasn't allowed the past 2 years that's being allowed now because of this, crazy long off season?
I think it's them moving more towards entertainment. Ben, I think you talked about it on the flank with Jack, or we had this conversation where they're
Warzone, but like
I think they're just trying to move COD as a whole more towards the entertainment instead of the actual like nitty-gritty competitive side of things.
Well, let's look at it this way. And I brought this up a couple times on this show. Call of Duty, one of the things that is going for it is you've got very good established brands and players that are very good on camera. Look at, Ian, the event that you and I were on in LA for a couple of weeks ago. Pat, you were there too as one of the captains. Like, that event's a prime example of sort of how good
it's
those
the
folks are on camera.
WWE of esports.
What am I, top living Hitman? What am I, top living?
Tommy was there too. I'm sorry.
What am I, top fucking living away? Come on.
But like, I'm excited for this Optic for Steve show match. Again, it's that fun sort of vibe. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be super competitive. I wonder if we're gonna have some sniper battles or something else going on here. But it's good for all parties, including the league. You're getting those brands out there, getting that rivalry going. Both those teams have undergone massive changes from the season before. There's some ex-teammate kind of stuff going on between the two. Like from a storyline perspective, everybody kind of benefits from that kind of activation. So I could see why it's going down.
Oh, I fully agree. Those should be constant activations. I'm just surprised that it hasn't happened in the last 2 years, and this is the first time it's happening. And I think this could be the first step of,
Well, I know
changes
Jack,
being looked at.
I know Jack was talking to the. He said it on the show. He's like, I've had some phone calls, this and that. I'm sure they planned these things out, bro. If it's possible to do more stuff like this, then I want to run a tournament. I want to do this. Who do I gotta bend? Who do I gotta contact? You? Let's do something, man.
The
flank presents.
Yeah, bro. The flank presents the top 12 or 11, whatever, fucking franchise teams in a weekend tournament or some shit. Like we should do that. Produced by Esports Engine, Ben J. Nassim, very own.
But I think the issue here, Tom, and the way you're getting around it is, in that proposal, you're basically running like a league-sanctioned tournament that's not giving out CDL points. Here it's just a show match. It's just for fun.
Oh, that's fine. The pros the franchise teams would love that, bro, to play in a tournament and fucking stream it.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Oh, my bad.
I'm saying that the tournament idea probably wouldn't get approved.
Someone in the chat,
the show match idea would though.
Someone in the chat, Ben, said that the post on Twitter referenced CDL rules, so not a fun show match.
Oh, so the other people in the chat were fucking lying.
I don't know if this person's right, but I'm just saying.
Wait, so it is CDL rules or it's not CDL rules?
Somebody's lying.
Allegedly, it's CDL rules.
Well, what the
based
fuck,
off what
man?
that guy said in the chat.
Well, it's on Tuesday, so I guess we'll see what the rules are when the stream happens Tuesday afternoon.
Listen, man. Before we end the show, thoughts on Warzone, all you guys. What are your thoughts? You like it? Dislike it? What's going on here? I like it. They need to add more people in there, though.
Yeah, I was going to say more people.
Pacing's a little
PUBG.
off.
The pacing's off. They gotta add more people in there.
Is the pacing because of the loadout thing? Is that what I saw? That was like a part of it, but I didn't know. If
I don't
that
know.
was...
I feel like the map is just too big. Like I think they need to add more people to the map.
Map's the same size, but also the points of interest are way more spread out, like on the edges of the map.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh.
So it's like it's gonna feel way slower because as you kind of shrink to the middle, there's way less points of interest in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm very curious for this Atlanta FaZe tournament, which I think is this week, correct? That's going to be one of the first sort of competitive tournaments on this map, and I'm curious to see how it kind of plays with those.
Yeah, dude, I need 2 content creators for that.
individuals.
I need a team for that. I'm a captain. I need 2 content creators. I'm saying it here now. I don't know who I'm playing with. I've already hit up some guys, but everybody I've talked to has a team. But I've talked to Joe. Whoa, he's got a team. I've talked to Aiden, team. TP.
Hey, you're gonna win no matter what, Tom.
I appreciate that very much, Ian. I'm gonna have to fucking do something here. But yo, LA Thieves tweeted something. Look at this. Throw the CDL rules out the window. They said so. They're throwing that shit out the window. Maybe that's what it is.
So the guy in chat lied. So let's,
yeah, well you can't.
mods, let's
Hey,
take care
ban
of
that
guy.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
man.
take care of that guy, mods.
And before we go, I just wanted to pull this up because I think this is super important. But just want you guys to take a look at this. What the fuck is Porter doing with those blue jeans? What is he doing with
We're going
these?
to talk about this.
What is he doing with these blue jeans, bro?
He's looking big. He's looking big.
Yo, he's looking fucking thicker than ever, bro.
Oh my God.
Look at this guy's a fucking unit. This guy's an absolute unit. Look at it. And then Clay just looks like
New York.
Wait,
Chef
Clay
going
looks
crazy.
like he's off the shit right now.
Hey, Clay's
Yo.
ready. Yo, Clay is fucking ready to go. This guy's ready to fucking go. Look at this guy.
Wait, why is Neptune so far from Krim with that elbow?
It's because Crim's stance is so wide with those fucking Wranglers.
Wait, what do you think?
I wouldn't go near them
Bro,
Wranglers
what do
either.
you
Those are
think
boot
was
cuts.
said? What do you think was said to them right before the picture was taken? Like, what did they think they said? Act hard. These things said act hard. I'm about to take a picture.
Taking
I
a
hope
photo
not.
for like
I
a
hope not.
rock band.
I love how
Just a
Paco's smirking
no
too.
fucks given vibe.
I love how Paco's fucking smirking. Like, look at this guy. But listen, we can end the show there, man. I think we had a good enough talk. We've been going for like an hour now, an hour or two. I don't know. We've been going for a minute now. But shout out to Elamite for coming on. Obviously, he came on, spit the shit. Really appreciated him coming on. He also subbed to the channel, so make sure to go show that guy some love. Make sure to go follow him. Huge shout out to Ian for coming on today. Shout out to Enable, man. I love
Of course.
having you come on for the Halo Flanks, Ian, because you know everything when it comes to Halo. I mean, you're the best to ever do it. You know. So
Wait. Can we put Ian on the hot seat really quick? 'Cause
yeah,
I haven't
sure.
seen this. Ian,
What?
any intention to play Halo this year at all?
Oh, yeah,
I know
what's
you
going
had
on with
one
that?
kill in that one
No,
game, but is
no.
there any Enable
No.
comeback, multi FPS running it back?
Nah, look, Sentinels reached out. I told them I appreciate the offer, but I'm past that.
Bigger and better things
I
going on.
like that.
Fair enough.
I like.
You know, I'm an old man now, bro. My fucking nub, it's been through a lot.
I feel you.
I feel that, dude. Like, how was that? Like, does your nub like start to hurt, or like does it get sore? Like, well, I remember
You know
you had
way-
problems with it. Didn't you used to have problems with it?
Yeah, no, you know what it is? It is the best explanation.
Okay.
So you guys know how fighters, right? Their shins get like the shin bone gets thicker because they like it's like the micro cuts. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like
Take a
over
note,
time,
about.
so it gets like thicker, stronger. It's like an actual thing. Bro, that's how my nub is. So the years of just fucking smashing it, because it's only bone, like right up against the skin, because it's right at the knuckle.
Yeah.
So it's just a thick piece of like, bro, it is like it feels like a cinder block.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
It's almost
And
like
so
a callus,
it
right?
gets- Yeah, it's like a callus. So it gets I don't want to say it hurts, but it just like
It's uncomfortable.
Stiff. Yeah, it's
uncomfortable.
after I grind for X amount of hours.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It's pretty much, I mean, the same thing with me. Like, dude, I can play. I can still play at a high level if I wanted to, but in order to do it every day, hours on end, like, my hand doesn't hold up. Like, it just doesn't. Just because
like
of the
at the end
surgery.
of the day, your hands are like throbbing almost.
Yeah. Like, it's just, no, my hand would get fatigued, like, weak, just from, like, the surgery, like, all the scar tissue and shit. So it's like, I'm good. Like, bro, the show match, I was frying the whole show match at the 100
My
Thieves
God,
thing.
you were.
I was feeling
I thought
good.
you were about to announce your comeback.
Bro,
No
I
cap.
was thinking about it right
Pat
there
was
and then.
getting his shit pushed in. Bro. Good thing you retired.
Nah, Pat was doing, dude, we won 4-0 pretty quick, not gonna lie.
Yes, it was a pretty quick 4-0.
Not to toot my own horn here, but shout out to Enable for coming on. Pat, Ben, everybody wants to see a putt. I actually poked Pat. I said, yo, give us a putt. And he said, Bet, got you. My man Pat's going to have to start hitting putts if Ben's not here. But Ben, you better fucking sling this putt, my guy.
Yeah, let's get it done. Oh, I gotta lower the camera.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
The second
Don't show no cock, Ben. Make sure your pants are on.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, please, for the love of Jesus. Hey, Pat, do you go golfing at all? You ever golf?
I haven't since high school, no. I have not.
Interesting. We're gonna have to figure out something for you to do, Pat. Like maybe
That's fucked.
maybe you can shoot like you play any sports, basketball or something.
Oh, naturally athletic.
Oh,
No,
you're
he
not.
didn't. No, he
Ian
did
knows
not.
this. Any sport. Ian got. I wish we could get Ryan Towie on. They would let you know Ian got smoked in the 3-point contest in Bloomington, Illinois.
Yo,
shit.
motherfuckers actually make shit up nowadays.
Wait, no, that
It's
was at
crazy.
Columbus. That was at Columbus when we went to Columbus for the league. We went to. I think we were at Lifetime. You
Is this guy serious?
fried.
Hey, Tom.
Ian couldn't even hit the rim from the
Pat?
3-point line.
When is Pat?
He said he was sore
officially-
though. He said he was
No.
sore.
When is Pat officially the co-host? I'm trying to see that busted ass
January
hairline.
1st is the
Yeah,
date
get
that
him
Ben
on
gave
cam. Let
me.
me see that North Carolina, that Raleigh cut. That shit gotta be cooked.
I'm gonna have to get an outside. You know, I'm just gonna have to fry you in every sport.
But ladies and
triathlon.
gentlemen, here he goes. Ben is stepping up to the green. Let's see if he can hit it here. He's gonna sling it and he's gonna miss it. He goes wide. He goes wide.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, he goes wide. He misses the putt. Unbelievable. He steps
No,
back
no
in.
redos. No redos.
Oh, he steps
Wait,
back
he's
in.
going
He
for a
steps
redo?
in. He goes wide again. He goes wide again. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes wide again. He misses the putt. I can't believe this. You're 0-2 today, Ben.
back.
That
You
boy
hate to see
crumbled.
it. You hate to see it.
Damn, Ben, you 0-2 today. What's going on with you? What happened there? The wind?
Nah, I haven't been eating my putter. in a
Ooh,
minute.
turn the fucking fan off, man. Shit.
It's cold in Columbus, Ben. Let him know it's cold.
But,
Nah,
bro,
I've been ice cold with the putter. It's all good.
listen, man, shout out to Enable once again. Shout out to Benji and Asim. And shout out, of course, to the one and only Patty P, a.k.a. Aches, man. You're going to be seeing a lot of him. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to all you guys. Make sure to go follow him, man. At Aches, right? At Enable, at Benji and Asim. Go follow him,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Go show him some love.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, go to anchor.fm/theflank to check out all audio sites that we're on. Make sure to follow the stream if you haven't already. Go follow at The Flank on Twitter. Gerst doing a phenomenal job out there running socials. As always, guys, it's an absolute pleasure. It's your boy Zoomaa. See you guys next time at another episode of The Flank. Have a good fucking day. Take care. Brush your hair.